I mean, and this is not even a house. This is a factory. Nobody would like to live here. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people would like to live here. But now, after we did all of this, I didn't do much. I just came here into a very, very stable type of squat, established since 22 years now. And I mean, I just feel an immense sense of gratefulness for all the people that came before me and that wrote every single bit of the pages of this place. Like every little graffiti, every little like puppet put in a corner, like everything here has somewhat of a history, and I respect that so much.
What you doing? Hello. Hello. The critique of society and all the shit that is going on with my creativity and just like
specifically about the situation with eviction.
you know.
When I moved to the city, this whole area was abandoned, no? So then you could just come and take a building and squat it and do whatever you wanted. No? But there's not so much space anymore because of urban development. And the less space you have, the higher the land value goes. And the higher the land value goes, the greater the incentive it is to sell the land and develop it for something else. It's basic gentrification. It's what goes on in every city. I mean, try to imagine if you're a politician and you're responsible for the development of the city, what you see on this piece of land in terms of GDP, it's just a black hole, right? This is nothing, because if you look at the data will tell you that there's nothing happening here.
Somewhere else.
And zooming, how do you do it?
Politics of it's amazing, perfect. It's literally in the corner, it's perfectly in the corner. Man, feel like I've been preparing for this, you know, this backslash, you know, it's like, welcome to my YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm a squatter. This is life in a squat. Yeah.
Alright, so I'm David, I'm 43 years old. I came to Maastricht to study at Physicality. I studied for about 6 years at Physicality. At the end of my second degree, I started squatting in the Manville. So I lived there for a year and a half. So I've been squatting for 6 years. I say squatting, so it's a little bit different because the buildings were already squatted, so I just moved in. It's kind of an impulse decision. We were in food bank one night and he said, yeah, he's really looking for somebody to share the building, but he doesn't find anyone. And I asked him, well, would you take me? And then he said, yeah, I would love to live with you. Yeah. Like the only thing I did is to repair the external, because some of the wood is rotten, so I put new wood in here and painted a little bit.
All right.
But apart from that, I haven't done any work.
Okay. Okay.
Made a little cat ramp so the cat can come in.
Yeah, nice, nice.
That's it.
I mean, I bet also with the woods, it's a bit warmer, no? Also.
No, it's not. It's fucking cold.
Okay.
In the winter, it's really whatever the temperature is outside. I mean, look at all the.
Yeah. I have the same box.
Yeah, really.
Same exact.
Yeah, changing in the morning is just such a pain because if it's -5 outside, it's -4 inside or something like that because these walls don't have any isolations. The windows are half cracked, you see? Like, you can literally see here, you can see the light coming in. This is not really well isolated, you know? And indeed. So it's really cold actually. And that's like the biggest downside. But it's fine. 5-year-old blush from Essence.
Wow!
Hey.
And then I take this brush that is probably not clean enough and do this. And that's it. Sometimes I brush my teeth. Not right now.
I'm Joe.
was born in Italy in 2003, so I'm 21 years old now. I've been living here in Maastricht for 2 years now, which is still weird to say, and this place has definitely made me feel more at home here, because I had quite a tough shock, let's say, moving here. The housing crisis in Maastricht for students was influencing and like having an impact on the quality of my life here, and I was just basically living between isolating in Belgium and going to university for 6 months, which wasn't really ideal. And then back then I was already coming to the LBB here quite often, and then the rumor got out that this place would be evicted last spring actually. And as the activist that I am, I just wanted to, I immediately jumped to the opportunity, because I wanted to organize something like a demonstration to save this place. And then I got into contact with people here. At one point somebody mentions that there are some rooms free here. So March last year, actually no, February last year, I went to my first house meeting and asked for a residency trial, and I've been living here for more than a year now, a year and 2-3 months. So
The thing is, when I moved in, there was nothing going on, so there was a lot of opportunity to do stuff. So I just started doing the jam sessions, like right at the beginning of Corona. So there were no events going on here. And I started organizing illegal secret events. We just did a jam session Friday, Saturday. And at the beginning it was like 20, 30 people coming, just people that we knew. But then word started to get out. We found out that you could have events during the week if it was less than 100 people. So I started doing stuff on Tuesday nights. And so far, so we increased the content quite a lot. Like my events are, it's not to make money, it's for to provide a space for people to come here. And we try and keep it donation based, keep the drinks prices as low as possible. And making a space for artists and musicians who don't get the opportunity to play in other places because maybe they can't afford the deposit on the place, or they don't have a product that other venues can make money off of. So for me, I'm providing a place where that can happen, where if you don't have arts that's not profitable can be enjoyed and exhibited here. That's the whole purpose for me. It's a lot of the young people from the city, especially the people that were born here, the musicians, the artists, they really appreciate the space and what we're doing. And the fact that we organize it in a way where it's open for them, where they have opportunities that they don't have in other places. And I think it's important for cities to have this. Even though there's an economic cost, like an opportunity cost, you have to create the space for this.
I should have pulled my clarinet. I'm so sad.
We have another Italian friend with a trumpet.
Right, now here.
Se mai vuoi qualcun altro che canti con te?
Sì, sì. Abbiamo un microfono però.
Va bene.
No, devi essere forte.
I came here and what I saw is, yes, a lot of pride in being a free culture, a subculture, but no politics in organizing events, or very little politics. And I think the brim of politics that there is striving to be non-commercial, so asking for a donation and not investing much into concerts, or like what we gain we reinvest into the space, and it's kind of like a circle.
There's a lot of discussions we had were about politics within the house, and people kind of created this division between generations, being apolitical, being portrayed as a form of being inclusive, but the people that are oppressed within our society will not benefit from this type of inclusion.
Giving us 20 minutes of pessimism monologue of, yeah, but we cannot change capitalism. No, we cannot change capitalism, that's the point.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
That's why you have to at least start expanding into indigenous communities. At least that. If you don't want to destroy it.
Do not touch this.
Quite a young, queer, also against normativity group of people. The last year we founded the Raise the Volume Punk Collective downstairs. That gives us much more agency on how radical we want to go in event organization, and also how political we want to go, because a lot of the friction there was at times with the concert hall upstairs and the production team was about how political these events could be.
Friends, I'm going to speak in English. I did not prepare a speech because no, I don't have time for that. And I also don't feel very entitled to speak on this topic, but I think it's important to have a celebration for Italian Liberation Day from fascism, because 79 years have passed, if my math is not wrong, and it is important to remember our history and to remember that dictatorship should never happen in any other country ever again. So it is important to come together on this day and celebrate that we are free and that, well, we have a democracy as dysfunctional as it is. Openly sharing my opinion about democracy. It's very improvised here. What else? 3 years have passed since I come from Bologna, which is a city that is quite leftist, and 25th of April is a big deal down there, and I miss home. I haven't been there for 3 years, so last year we did the first celebration here in Maastricht, organized by Autonoma at the Sustainability Hub, yes, and I think some of you were there, some of you graduated and left, but resistance against fascism in Maastricht continues, and we're still here, so enjoy the pasta. There is more coming soon, I've heard, somebody told me. So yes, enjoy this evening. Feel free to come and suggest any song. Also take control over the mic and sing anything you want. Be respectful and nice. And thank you for being here. And I give the voice actually to Eddie from the Maastricht tegen Fascisme. My Dutch is not great. Yes, I can put it in there. He prepared a little speech about the Dutch situation to create some connection and see how fucked up the situation is here as well. And let's keep this alive, because our government in Italy is also shit. Well, so yes. So let's not forget. Thank you.
Well, it gives me a lot of hope to try to radicalize this place, but it's not always easy, because we're all different. We all have our own privileges, and not everybody faces them the same way, and also becomes aware about them at the same pace.
it's really difficult for a community to stay the same all the time. Obviously, we're always changing, accepting new people, or other people leave. But I mean, I think it definitely takes quite a lot of effort because sometimes there's just uncomfortable and difficult situations that you have to forcefully discuss if you want to peacefully live in a house. And sometimes the differences that there are in dealing with conflict are what makes living harmoniously in a community entails, and it's also what makes it so difficult sometimes because everybody has a different reaction to conflict, or perhaps attaches traumatic experiences from the past to it because everybody comes in from a different background here, and that's also something beautiful because we can grow from each other and learn from each other, but sometimes it also makes some challenges more difficult to face.
Like the idea of saying like to your sister like, oh, you don't even have the idea of cutting onions. Do you ever consider saying that here?
Not in such a direct way.
Yeah.
You cannot be. There's not this type of relationship because if you start snatching at people like I unfortunately sometimes I'm comfortable enough of doing with my siblings, you can forget that here. Like if you do that, you start fights, and some people have to still learn that.
Yeah, it's
cut
like,
that out, please.
Yeah, no worries.
Cut. Like this is just something stupid. Some people just take the cutlery and throw it into the dishwasher. I take fork by fork and put them in line because I have some form of autism, you know? Like, it just, the forks are not gonna be the same type of clean, you know? It's not that tragic, but you just notice how differently people got socialized in some way.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
Do you like having the view on the street?
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
People always take photos. So every time people walk past, it's like the whole way they just photograph. Sometimes I'm just like chilling in the bed, almost naked, and some guy out there.
It's very photogenic. This is like every kid's dream, and unfortunately then we very often like lose the kid's dream.
Yeah.
But actually this is the dream. Is this your plants behind or outside?
You see it, man.
Yeah.
Or there is a characteristic that is required for a member of LBB to be a member.
You mean member like people that live here?
Yeah, sorry. Is there a difference between member
Yeah, you
and
have
LBB?
to, like the idea is that you have to do 10 hours a week of work.
Mm-hmm.
You should ideally have a project, and that project should like open the space for other people to come in and use. That's the whole justification for us having this building, for some of us, that we're giving something back to the city. So if you live here, that's your responsibility. It's your duty to do that. But if you don't, nothing will happen. So in principle, that's the requirement for being a member, but in practice, you can actually just do whatever you want. Some of the younger ones, less experienced, sometimes, you know, they want to be nice, want to help people, but I think, like, people that have been doing this for a while, we have an intuition, and when we see problematic behavior, we make sure they stay out, because your community can fall apart very quickly.
So does that mean that there is some sort of rules for who comes in, or may I ask what those are?
It's different for every person, but for me, number one is trust. I need to know that the person's honest, because this whole place is open, you know, and we rely on each other. So that's the absolute necessity. They have to. I have to at least believe that they're honest to a certain degree. Then I mean, it's just normal human traits that everybody values. You know, somebody that's is altruistic.
We have one house meeting a month. And that's when we discuss new residencies, projects for the next month, and also divide up into tasks. So we have kind of like a rotational system, so not everybody is always assigned to cleaning toilets, for example, unless the person cleaning toilets really much enjoys that, which we are having right now. shout out to them. Yeah, I mean, I clean towels, for example. Like I started like a washing machine with all the dirty towels from the kitchen, and then I hang them up and put them back. That's not that bad. Everybody gets a kitchen day, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I heard from old residents that it's going much better with kitchen days now, so we're actually getting compliments from older generations on how clean the kitchen is, which is surprising. Yeah, sometimes that creates a bit of friction, like, you weren't here this weekend, you didn't do your kitchen day, sorry. But it's also nice, you know, I do the kitchen every 14 days, approximately. It's nice, huh? Think about like living forever in a community and like sharing all the house tasks, you know? Yeah, I bring my kid to school once a week.
You work way less.
Yo, I cannot pick up the kid, can you pick it up? Can you give it food? I don't have time right now. Yeah, no, that is a bit extreme, but yeah, kind of. I, for example, don't even have a lock on my room, and nobody ever stole anything, but people have different degrees of openness. Like, I am quite open also with sharing my clothes, all of my stuff. If you ask me, you can take it. If it disappears, then and you don't ask me, then I'm gonna be mad, but that never happened, luckily, unless it was by mistake. It's a way of living that cannot be partial.
Mm. Because it's on the opposite side of the spectrum of, let's say, our values of our society.
Well,
it's counter
private ownership,
yeah.
Capitalization,
Yeah.
accumulation of capital it's the opposite of the spectrum. Buying off houses to leave them empty so the price of them can increase over time and double the value, and then rent it out and make more money out of it without really having a job. Those fucking landlords. Like that's the other side of the spectrum. Having an empty house that is not being used, is being left on its own, nobody does anything with it. Taking that is something that to me is morally right.
Do you think the people outside, the people who make decisions, they don't see the importance of this aspect of this place?
No.
They don't care about it?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I don't think they can understand. It doesn't matter what we do here, there's no way of for them there's no way to measure it, right? The social value of what we're doing. So because they can't measure it, they don't see it. And if you only make decisions based on economic value, then there's no value of this place. So it makes total sense to demolish it, build apartments for, those people are going to bring money, but it's still important for the cultural landscape of the city to have something like this. And if you don't have it, if everything is about making money and profit, that works, but you're creating a particular type of cultural landscape. So I think that you need to think about this, maybe. And then as a municipality, do you want to keep young people, keep artists in the city? If you do, then you have to make the space for them to have some freedom to do what they want. And I think they don't really... Maybe they do realize it and they've just decided, well, it's not worth it. The economic cost of that is not worth it. Or our voters don't appreciate it, so we're not going to do it. I don't know. But if they've thought about it and they've incorporated that into their decision, then fine. And if they still think, okay, we don't need these places, okay, but I don't agree. I think it's important.
Everybody thought that there would be an eviction now in the summer, and the fact that it's now again put forward of maybe a year, maybe more, you don't really know. What's like, how do you actually have to, like, how do you deal with that?
I don't think about it because, so my experience in the Mandrel, so when I moved in, we were told we have 12 months left, we're not going to get a place, there's nothing we can do about it, so we should start making plans and looking for another place. And I took this responsibility on the shoulders of everybody there that we need to keep this project going. It's important for the city. But then I got very depressed and stressed out about this because there was no real solution. So I had this huge weight on my shoulders that we had to like save this project, but there was no way to do it. And I got really depressed, and it took like a year and a half to get over it. And I'm not going to do that again. I now see I'm looking at it a little bit more philosophically. So I'm just not focusing on it. I'm just going to wait and see what happens, and if we have to leave, we have to leave. But in this period, there were some people living here, they already started making plans. They started saving money. Instead of like investing time in the place, they started putting money to the side, they started like buying vans and things. So they made this whole plan, what they were going to do, which is logical, right? But they were not then in the place anymore, they were just actually, and a lot of them just left and went to do something else, which is fine, but for me it's really important that the people are here, they're completely invested in the LBB and not thinking like, so I don't want to think about plan B. And let me, okay, so when it happens, somehow things always work out. It was never a big problem for me. I just have faith that something else will come along.
The LBB has been under threat of eviction for many years, and they have been saying that they will evict this place every year for the past 4 or 5 years. And there's been a certain degree of uncertainty since a while. But somehow, I have the feeling, and also like, just look at the external societal factors there are. It's like, inflation is super high. They want to invest, I don't know how many millions they want to invest into this new project they have. I don't know at what stage of the process they are, if they already bought the land or not, but there is a certain amount of permits they have to get, and like the environmental implications of doing this project are being assessed and also criticized, I think, or like people are speculating on it. Whether or not it will happen. So
if you're squatting now, you're actually squatting going into empty buildings. Part of your life is that you might get evicted every 2 weeks. You might be able to stay there for 6 months, you might get evicted after 2 days. It's very uncertain, and I think maybe 40 years ago it wasn't like that. I think you had more security, I think, but I'm not really sure. So it's not that it's dying, there's people really trying to keep it going, but the opportunities are not there anymore, I think. But that's just part of life.
I don't get direct updates from the municipality, and they, quite frankly, are not really talkative about what's gonna happen, which is really weird, like if you're gonna rip somebody from their home, then you have to give them some margin. I mean, I will get my ass here to block the entrance when the police comes, but that's a certain. I will fight if there is to fight, but I do not plan to stay here forever. I will not become one of those people that live in the same place for 20 years. Yeah, it's just not my personality. Yeah.
So, would you still consider yourself like a community member without living here?
Yes, not a house member, because there's a difference between community member and house member. But definitely, we have a lot of community member, like all our house friends and all the volunteers. They're all community members, and this place is so much more than the housing community. So, I mean, honestly, with the 15 people we have in this house, we would not be able to make everything happen the way it is.
Viva l'Italia, viva
antifascista si spera. I just said that the world should be anti-fascist as well, not just Italy.
Just gonna wait and see what happens, and if we have to leave, we have to leave. Because nothing lasts forever, right? So